Well, hello, and welcome to Trusten Games. I'm Trusten. We're going to be taking a look at Power to the People today. If you would like to stay in contact with me through different mediums, down below is my Discord. I am very active on there. It has all the updates for videos coming out on YouTube and both my stream. So I hope to see you there. Power to the People, when I first saw this game, it kind of reminded me of the old school SimCity, like the old SimCity from the 90s. It's got these square buildings and the tile sets and stuff like that. And that's kind of what my first reaction was, like, oh, this is going to be a cool SimCity style game. When in reality, it's not that at all. You are hired on as a electrician, master electrician, or you oversee all of the electrical output for the city. I don't know what that would be, like a coordinator? No idea. But your job is to make sure that you don't blow power lines, that you have substations along with plants, and it's really cool. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go with the main campaign. I have beaten Jacobstad on easy. So you do have various other places like Siem Reap, and then places that'll be unlocked. This thing has like 14 or 15 some odd places, including like Sydney. We do have Arizona, so you know it's hot and dry out there. But speaking of hot and dry, if we go ahead, and I will start Jacobstad because I do know what's going to happen on there. Actually, you know what? I take that back. We will head over to Vila here. I think this will be very interesting. We do have perks and challenges. You have easy, medium, hard, so different difficulties, and each difficulty has various challenges and perks. There's also a leaderboard, which is really interesting. So each city that you play has a leaderboard, and the way you win is you essentially provide excellent service for 50 days, which is a year in this game, or just under a year. One thing I didn't mention, I'm not going to get into, but it does have a weekly challenge that is extremely difficult. But before, and let's take a look at our perks and challenges here. So we have easy, which has low power usage, high income levels, high wind speed, cities grow slowly, and infrequent disasters, which is all great for me. We also gain influence points, or IP, for our for beating the game, beating the level. So I've beat 1, so I have 5 IP, which means that I can take out loans now if I want to. At 10 IP, you get company customization and 3 new maps. Then you get advanced substations and so on and so forth. So you can have a total of 70 IP, which I think is beating every level in the game. And you get various IP depending on the difficulty you choose. I am going to choose easy. So candles, residential customers only get unhappy after 1 hour without power, as they'll take the opportunity to light some candles and cozy up, so that's good. They don't instantly get unhappy. Home cooked, no power usage spikes for restaurants at dinner time, so that's good. Normally you'd have spikes for different times of the day. And then windmill makers, 20% discount on wind turbines, and they are produced locally. Awesome. Offshore wind turbines is available here, even if you don't have the influence points unlocked, so we'll get a bonus, which would normally take influence points. So let's go ahead and get started here. So this tells you some different information about Vila. So we are in Denmark. We are in March, which if we look, we see our wind output drops during the summer and then pops up during the winter. So while wind turbines might be something useful during the winter, it's probably not going to be super useful during the summer. And we see our temperature will start increasing. Our precipitation chance is about 30% or less year round. So these are all things that we'll have to take into consideration while we're playing this. We've been hired as the manager for the local electric company. That's what it was. It's not a superintendent or whatever I said. So we want to keep customer satisfaction of 50% during 50 days. Remember, the instant that customer satisfaction drops under 50%, we lose. So we start out with 20,000 funds. We have 100% happiness right now. And the mayor of Ville is telling us, hey, welcome. We got plenty of wind, but not so much sunshine. Population density is low, but plenty of time to develop our infrastructure and build some beautiful wind turbines. But be careful of the wind, though, as it might not only be an ally, but a threat to our power lines. So we have to be careful. So we have our information over here saying that a new city will be built in 7 days, and that our game is paused until we do our first building. So this game is tricky. And what I mean by that is that the city will continue to grow non-stop. It will pause at midnight every night, so that way we could do our changes. But during the day, the time will constantly go. You can't pause it, which was something that took me a minute to realize. So our wind right now is 20.7 meters per second, and our wind turbines, we go down here and take a look at our wind turbines. The wind it needs to be above 8 meters per second or 18 miles an hour to produce energy. So we do have a discount on these. Normally the wind turbines are a little bit more expensive, but we'll go ahead and start placing them. So we have a orange area around the turbines, which is kind of like the noise level. If you've ever played something like City Skylines, you've got that noise level or that pollution level, and people generally don't like being around them. So what we'll do is we will put our wind turbines up here, up on the hill. Now, where you put them determines the cost. So right here, I have nothing to tear down, so it's 32,000. If I move over, say, this tree here, it's $200 to tear it down, so then it's 3,200 or 32,200. And if we need to flatten stuff out, it gets even more expensive. So I'll go ahead and place here. So there's our wind turbines. We're going to need a substation. That's not a substation. So we'll build a basic substation down here. And we'll need to connect these with high voltage lines. And then we'll need to have low voltage lines running through the city. And I'm just getting this set up here, and I will explain more when we get in here. Okay, so we look here at our wind turbines. The maximum production, the maximum output is 22 megawatts. The maximum output of our substation is 50 megawatts. So I could actually put 2 of these wind turbines up, connected to one substation, and we go through here. So 50 megawatts maximum usage on our basic substation. However, all of our lines have maximum usage as well, so 30 megawatts per line. So if you've ever played a game like Oxygen Not Included or anything like that, you'll know that having branching power lines is super effective. So that's something that we're going to want to do here, because right now we have all 30 megawatts going right through this area here. So if we were to say build another set down through here and tear this up here, now we'll have some megawatts traveling through here and over here. So we've got 11 through here and 1.3 through here. And you can kind of divert your power so that way you don't overload your power lines, because that will happen. Let's see, these are all one. All right, so it is midnight, so that means we get our end of day report. So we profited, we made a profit of $4,295 or funds. So good on us. So in order to go to the next day, you press N, and that'll transition into the next day. Before we do that, let's take a look at our demand trend. So right now, we can see over the last 12 hours where our demand was highest, which was, I'd say, probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And we can see all of our efficiencies. We can see we got a lot of information that we have up here. So let's take a look. We will have a new city being built in 7 days. They don't tell us where the city is. This map is rather large, even though it's considered a small map. So we'll have to keep an eye on the development of this city and new cities. So for now, let's go ahead and continue. We will probably want to put in some other kind of power generation, but the wind turbines suffice for now. You have 2 speeds for your day. You have normal speed and super fast speed, which goes through time a lot quicker. So we got a new city being built, and we can see our demand trend is going up to about just under 20 megawatts. But this city will start expanding throughout the time that we play. So let's go ahead and speed up time a bit. All right, and we can see that they built something down over here, and we made 7,805 funds. Not bad. We can see that they just built a villa down here, a villa down there. We got a small park, all kinds of stuff. And if you hover over what is there, it'll tell you exactly what it is and where it's drawing power from. And if you hover over the power station, or the substation rather, it'll tell you what it's powering. My favorite ability here is pressing Z, and you can see where the flow of power is and what is causing the power to fluctuate and how hot the lines are getting. Things can explode and will explode in this game, so just keep that in mind. And oh, we got our first set of research points. So every day you get a research point. And what I do is I usually go through my transformers and get improved cable alloys. That allows the capacity of power lines up by 10%. And then eventually you can get high capacity lines, which will cost more per day, but you get 30 in total, 40% additional power that can run through it, which is really nice. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and do reinforced transformers, which means substations can operate at a maximum capacity longer before they explode. So we'll go ahead there. And I'm going to start planning for the future here. So I'm going to take a look at some of the other power stations we have. We have our biomass, which can be done along the coastline there. We don't have a ton of sun, they told us, so our photovoltaic will not work. Gas fired's pretty nice. It's got 100 megawatt output. The operating cost is $7 per megawatt hour. Our biomass is 6, and then if we take a look at what we actually have down here for our wind turbines, oh look at this, offshore turbines. That seems pretty nice. But again, that requires the wind to be above a certain, let's see, place on shallow waters generates plenty of power, 55 megawatt. Ramp up time 0, operating cost is next to nothing. You know what? We'll go ahead and run one of these bad boys. Let's go ahead and get it over here. And I'm going to run some large power lines to it. And then something else we might want to think about in the very near future is getting a battery farm. So let's go ahead and run this day and see how this works here. That does not look to be producing anything. Right. So let's go ahead. Let's see, maybe it's pulling all of the electricity from here. And not a whole lot from there. Because this seems to be running just fine right now. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put down a battery farm here. And the same thing goes with placing farms or substations or anything. If you have to level out land, it costs a lot more than it normally does. So we're going to put our battery farm here. Connect this with high voltage lines. There we go. So now this Our offshore turbine is now powering this battery. So hopefully we'll generate power here, and then we can use the power when the wind dies down. Let's go ahead and run the day and see what happens here. So that's generating plenty of power here. It's powering our capacity here. All right, everyone still seems to be happy. It looks like they're building a bridge here, so we'll go ahead and put some low voltage lines around here. In case anybody builds over here, we're ready for them. Fast forward a bit. All right, so let's see. Clean ferries. Due to environmental concerns, a new factory or facility to develop and test electric ships will be built in the outskirts of Vele. This building needs to be fed directly with high voltage lines. All right, so let's see where they're going to be building that. So an e-ferry terminal will be built soon, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. All right, we got a petrol station down here. All right, we're still making decent money. We got 16 hours until that's built, 4 days until the new city's built. Let's take a look at this. We've got full power here. I'm curious if we were to cut this. So I'm curious to see how this runs if we cut this. So we can't demolish this and get money back. It's 55, that's 22, and that's 50. Now let's demolish this. We'll get half of our funds back. I demolished some of the trees down there by mistakes, so there we go. And then we'll go ahead and do staff training. So every now and then your power plants and your facilities and your stations will have to go down for maintenance. You can skip maintenance, but there's a chance that things blow up, and I don't like things blowing up. So we're just going to go ahead and train our staff. So that way our maintenance downtime is reduced by 50%. So instead of it being 4 hours, it'll be 2 hours. If that's the time. All right. Fast forward a bit. And let's see. Oh. The city's been unable to find the money, so they were not able to build their ferry. I would assume that it would have been built here, but hey, we're not the city developers. We are the power people. Right. So we're profiting 8 grand a day. As they expand and they buy more wattage from us, we make more money. So nothing that we really need to fix or change here. Everything is still going fine, so we'll just continue to go for the day. We do have some rain. We got 44 hours till the new city is built. But depending on the situation, rain can cause problems for your power plants and your power stations. Thankfully, we don't have any issues that we will have to deal with. We got a small park coming in over here, 9 grand. I'll take that. Our efficiency is still a bit low. That's fine. We'll be all right. Reflects how efficient the distribution is of the low voltage lines and substations. So the less power that has to be run through various areas, the better your rating is on that. However, when we have intersections like this, that means a lot of power can cross through here, which usually means that these are prone to explosions. And while the fireworks are pretty, it's not something we want to see. So we'll let this roll through here. We can see how this is getting real hot here. That's super hot. Another $9,000 a day. Not bad, you know? So I am going to bulldoze this again. So hopefully that will alleviate some of that stress going through there. Let's see, we have been CEO for 7 days. We've had no explosions. We've used 50% of the funds that we've started with. And everyone's happy. So a good day in my book, you ask. Got a new city being built here in a couple hours. So we've got a new city that is way up over here. So it would be super not efficient if we were to use those power plants down there. We don't have anywhere that we can put in our turbines. So we are going to have to use another style power plant. Let's go ahead and see where we can put these in at. Really wouldn't mind a coal power one. You can see how their noise situation is not the best. I can run you way over here. And we'll have our substation down here. All right. May not be the prettiest, but it'll work. What we might want to do is start squaring this off here. Oh, we don't have the money. We ain't got the money, man. Because we have a lot of electricity is just going to go straight through this line. If we start squaring this around, we can kind of manipulate where the city's going to be built, and also allow us to get that power going to different areas so it doesn't start getting super hot like this. All right, and there's our profit, another 9,000 fund day. And then we have 4 points. So we'll go ahead and put that into high efficiency transformers, so that way we don't have much of a loss here with our substations coming on over. But I think that's where we're going to end it today, my friends. This has been our first look, our first playthrough of Power to the People. I do plan on doing a couple more episodes of this, so let me know in the comments if this is something you're interested in. I do really enjoy this game. I put a lot of hours into it. It's a very challenging game. I know it doesn't look challenging now, but it will be as the cities continue to grow and we have multiple cities going. But until next time, my friends, this is Trusten signing out. Cheers.